like that? Yeah, that's what I'm happy about because I was like, thank you, thank you. I know one of these bus drivers has it. Seats and turn off or silence your electronic devices. Today's ceremony is an outdoor ceremony. As a reminder, military members in uniform should render a salute on the first note of the national anthem. During the national anthem, our civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. Veterans may either render a military salute or place their hand over their heart. Thank you. Distinguished visitors, honored guests, women and men of the 42nd Mission Support Group, good morning. I am Technical Sergeant Shakira Mathis from the 42nd Force Support Squadron, and I am your narrator. On behalf of today's presiding officer, Colonel Ryan E. Richardson, commander of the 42nd Air Base Wing, we welcome you to today's change of command. Today, the responsibility and leadership of the 42nd Mission Support Group will pass from Colonel Brad Leffert to Colonel Robert Furman. Our change of command ceremony is a time-honored military tradition deeply rooted in history, which dates back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia. During that period, military organizations developed flags unique to their unit with specialized colors and designs. When the soldiers followed their leaders into battle, their flag was used to provide a very visible point around which members of the unit could rally during conflict. Both commander and soldiers of a unit would dedicate their loyalty, trust, and allegiance to this flag. The formal change of command ceremony afforded these troops the opportunity to witness a new leader assuming their dutiful position. The formation today represents the women and men from the 42nd Mission Support Group who have served with Colonel Leffert and who will serve with Colonel Furman. Today's commander of troops is Major Brent Lush. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party, the singing of our national anthem, and the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
I invite you to pray with me at this time. Gracious Creator, you have told us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. And Lord, we are in a season of change. Changes that, as you have told us, cause times to weep, times to laugh, times to mourn, and times to dance. And that in all these things you have made everything beautiful in its time. Now, Lord, we gather for this time that has us at both extremes, for the change of command from Colonel Ledford to Colonel Furman. And Lord, as was spoken by the R&B group Boys to Men, it's so hard to say goodbye to Colonel Ledford. You brought him from his assumption of a command to this day, and Lord, we thank you for his faithful leadership and his striving preparation to ensure that the 42nd Mission Support Group was prepared for combat and prepared others for the same. We recognize that he was not able to do this alone, so we thank you for surrounding him with amazing leaders, most of all, the leaders in his own household. We thank you for the love and support given to Colonel Ledford by his wife Crystal and his sons Josh and Andy. May you bless them in this next adventure in which you are leading them. Wonderful Creator, we welcome Colonel Furman, his wife Deliani, and his sons Aiden, Evan, and Caleb to our 42nd Mission Support Group family. May this assignment be a personal and professional blessing to them all. I ask that you would fill Colonel Furman with the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment needed to take this group to even higher heights. Lastly, I ask your blessing over every member of the 42nd Mission Support Group. May we serve you, each other, and our new commander well. You have told us there's a time for war and a time for peace. And while we ask for peace, bless our leaders to make us ready for war for such a time as this. I ask all these things in the name of you, our great Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen.
Thank you, Color Guard, Ms. Webb, and Chaplain Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are honored to introduce the family members of the official party. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. The spouse of the 42nd Air Base Wing Commander, Ms. Lisa Richardson. The spouse of the 42nd Mission Support Group Commander, Ms. Crystal Ledford, and their sons, Josh and Andy Ledford. Colonel Ledford's parents, Larry and Suzanne Ledford. Also joining us via live stream are Colonel Ledford's brother, John Ledford, Colonel Ledford's aunts, uncles, and extended family. The spouse of the incoming 42nd Mission Support Group Commander, Ms. Deliani Furman, and their sons Aiden and Evan Furman, and Caleb Kurtz. Colonel Furman's parents, Tony and Denise Furman, Colonel Furman's sister, Emily, brother-in-law Eric, and their children. Colonel Furman's cousin, Paul Furman, and his wife Betty, and their children. Also joining us via live stream is Colonel Furman's brother Joe, his wife Amy, and their children. And we welcome friends and family of the Furmans watching from Germany, South Africa, Japan, and many other locations around the world. Now, we would like to recognize our distinguished guests in attendance today and ask that you hold your applause until all have been introduced. The Command Chief, 42nd Air Base Wing, Chief Caleb Baden. The Deputy Commander, Colonel Abigail Frander. The Director of Staff, 42nd Air Base Wing, Mr. Terrence Henderson. Deputy Director, Mission Support Group, Mr. Shane Downham. Senior Enlisted Leader, Mission Support Group, Chief Janae Wesley. The commander of the Barn Center, Colonel Damian Schlussel. The 42nd Air Base Wing honorary commanders, Mr. Wade Davis and Mr. Jonathan Avant. Montgomery City Councilman Chairman, Mr. C.C. Calhoun. Montgomery Chamber of Commerce Executive Vice President, External Affairs, Ms. Sharon Rose. Montgomery Chamber of Commerce Chief Officer, Military Affairs, U.S. Air Force Retired Colonel Scott Reiser. And lastly, we welcome all community leaders, commanders, commandants, senior leaders, directors, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, and the members of the Maxwell Gunter team joining us both in person and via live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Ryan E. Richardson.
Morning, everybody. Hey, just a reminder to our team in formation, shake those legs out. If you need to step out, please do so. There's no reason to lose you this morning, I promise. Good morning, all. To be honest, it's hard to believe that we're here already. Feels like just yesterday that I met Brad at pre-command training. I think we were at Sawzall, a table full of engineers, and I was the only individual there not qualified. It was awesome to meet you then, get a sense of who you are. Of course, your reputation preceded you, but that was the first meeting for us. And again, it seems like yesterday. And at that same time, it seemed like just a day before, I was sitting just a couple seats down from Rob at a U.S. Air Force's Europe, Air Force's Africa Commander's Update as we were taking the latest intelligence on Ukraine and what it was that U.S. forces by, with, and through our allies and partners were doing just yesterday. And today we're here, carrying forward a tradition, continuing a long blue line of responsibility, continuation of authority, and a commitment to the endurance of principles, standards, and ideas, while carving out the opportunity to make the necessary adjustments moving forward. This is nearly the last in a summer-long series of successions here in the 42nd Air Base Wing and largely Maxwell Air Force Base. While it's rare that an entire formation slate of 06 leaders change out at the same time, that is the current reality for Team 42. I'm sincerely grateful for all of you joining us this morning to recognize, acknowledge, welcome, and bid farewell to a couple righteous patriots and their families. One, for what he and his team accomplished over the past 2 years, not only accomplished, but postured for a generation to come. And the other for the unique, exceptional, and demonstrated excellence that landed him here, ready for yet another epic challenge. Both officers postured to influence forces, formations, families, and the fight moving forward. Huge thanks to the project team, protocol, chaplain, honor guard, and other amazing rendition of our national anthem. And again, after the home run derby the other day, I could use a lot more of that. Well done all, even to the weather team. 11:42, I don't know who picked that time other than the 42 sounded pretty righteous. But cloud cover and a light breeze out of the north will do us well today. Thank you. It's generally at this time in the program, the sequence of events that the presiding officer once again highlights all the distinguished and very important individuals in the audience. And while I'll most certainly get to the protocol of that, I'm going to start by welcoming, thanking, and addressing the group of professionals for which we are truly gathered this morning, nearly afternoon, the men and women of the 42nd Mission Support Group. Just a small contingent represented here in this formation, a large, diverse, complex set of patriots, many of whom are on post or responding or commanding and controlling this power projection platform at this very moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your persistent excellence and professionalism in executing our complex, diverse mission portfolio, combat support, combat service support, information warfare, and of course, combat medical care. This group right here are the backbone to that end and the backbone of our largely 43 mission partners between these two installations. Thank you again to the leadership in attendance, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, community partners, teammates, and wingmen. Welcome to the families. It sounded like we have the whole Furman family tree in attendance or online. Welcome all. Welcome to Maxwell Field. To the officers and their families, Crystal, thank you. Thank you for being a rock for Brad and your family. It's been awesome to be your neighbor, and we can't wait to visit you guys in Texas. To the Furman family, it's great to see you again. It's not Germany, but this is not different for you. This is an amazing place. We're only sorry that we're only going to be here together for another 3 to 4 days. But it's a lifelong friendship that we formed. We can't think of a better team to take the reins. Welcome. Rob is going to need a strong wingman, partner, and friend. Continuance of that passion and love that you've poured into him will bear out well for both he and this formation that he will fall to love. To Brad, a brother, a wingman, confidant, and counselor, we set forth to set aside precedent and focus on a very simple, consumable idea. One that is not foreign to us in the armed service or the profession of arms, our respective crafts or professions. Prepare for combat. Bound in the history of this formation, this installation, and this community, and extending that and committing to others that we will, to the degree able and possible, do the same for them. The circumstances by which you took command, under which you took command, required of you to immediately set forth a path. I'm so thankful for your grace, for your trust. I felt like I gave you an ounce of intent, hopefully a pound of trust, and you ran with it. A couple brief stories. Maybe just a 2 week or so into command, we had a series of storms that came through Alabama, not foreign to us here. I had heard that some of our resilience platforms had atrophied. We were driving ourselves out of COVID, and we were thinking about the right investments with a relatively small budget. Standard Air Force practice. And so Brad and I, in the dark of the night, made our way to the Maxwell Club, down into the pit. Probably wouldn't have passed any safety idea or briefing. We found our ways there in shoes, galoshes, flashlights, and we stood in 2 inches of water, and we wondered how we got here. We didn't spend too much time reflecting, though. It was Brad who had a conversation sitting at a bar about where we were going to head. Not just in that facility, but how we were going to pour into our formation, to our families, and this community. That extended just another week later. I knew exactly who Brad was, and it matched up with all the pre-briefs. I got a phone call from the Penn State athletic director requesting to land his airplane on this airfield. I thought it was a joke. We made a couple phone calls to find out who, in fact, was the authority. It happened to be air staff. We called up to air staff. We asked what that waiver looked like. All the while, Brad said, "You just let me know what I need to do." Air staff said that waiver looks like a memo signed by you accepting all associated risk in case something happens, and we just put it in a filing cabinet. To which Brad, over my shoulder, yelled into the phone, "Hold our beer." And so we did. And with that, he set out on pouring into culture with impunity, focused on readiness, the establishment of Crusader Challenge, not only ready airman training aligned, but to extend that into a culture of understanding and appreciation, into an airman tranche, many of whom joined after COVID, many of whom did not share the experiences that he and I, as maybe more senior leaders, otherwise known as old dudes, may have carried into our service here. His ability to prioritize, his ability to focus funds and resources for ends was amazing to watch. His ability to separate, delineate between mission essentiality and personal preference. His ability to drive a $1 billion AU campus plan into a consumable, executable, mission and law-aligned opportunity was awesome to watch. His ability to manage expectations, but not through the art of no, but through the art of the possible, was awesome across our diverse mission partner set. Ready for great power competition, we might not be there, but we are well on our way. Ready for the re-optimization and Operation Thunderbolt? Absolutely. Brad, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, and Godspeed. And when you're at IMSC or AFCAC or wherever you land, you had better not forget Maxwell Field. We know where you live. To Rob, what an amazing leader and friend. The manner in which you poured into Lisa and I during our brief 11 months together, what felt like a 335-day OCONUS accompanied TDY felt more like an assignment because of the manner in which you and your family led with us and led us. That absolutely influenced the opportunity. For those that don't understand, it is a unique opportunity for a public affairs officer by trade to command at this level. There is no doubt in my mind you are the right leader. No doubt. Although there was a brief doubt, because I had forgotten that you attended the University of South Dakota. And for those that know me as a South Dakota State graduate, that is oil and water. But I knew who you were. I knew who you were from my time with you and from those with whom you had served and who trusted you. I trust you with this formation, no doubt. And as we've discussed, it will be maybe just about as much about learning as it is leading. Them from you, you from them, and vice versa. It's going to be an awesome opportunity for you and this formation and this set of missions. You have a story of resilience, recovery, and readiness. You are an American patriot. And every airman in this formation and the opportunities that present themselves on Chenault Circle to share who you are, I encourage you to take up. From OTS to SOS to Air War College, there's few things you've not been distinguished at. Maybe even a distinguished graduate to birth, if we gave that, I'm sure. Fresh off the eastern flank, our formation is hungry for what's current and relevant in the space of employing combat and combat support forces. My ask of you, my charge of you is to pour in. Pour into the formation, pour into these families, pour into this community. They will reciprocate. Could not be prouder of you. You are the right leader for this task, and I just ask of you to remember, you are not alone. Let's get after the business of the day. Thank you.
At this time, Colonel Richardson will present Colonel Letford with the Legion of Merit. Colonel Christopher B. Letford distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 42nd Mission Support Group, 42nd Air Base Wing, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. From 14 June 2022 to 19 July 2024. During this period, Colonel Letford demonstrated exceptional leadership by ensuring the seamless execution of all logistical and operational aspects in support of separate presidential and vice presidential visits. Additionally, he spearheaded efforts to optimize the Air University campus plan, aligning its directives. Furthermore, Colonel Lefferts' ingenuity and commitment to the readiness were evident. Above and beyond the critical Ready Airman training standards, by infusing multiple events for tactical radio communications, obstacle courses, tactical combat casualty care, convoy operations, and small unit tactics across the exercise scenarios. Finally, his intuition of bi-monthly unclassified intelligence briefings across the formation leveled up the team, instilling invaluable insight regarding multifaceted adversary threats and forging a culture of connectedness to the mission and other. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Leffert reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to introduce the Commander, 42nd Mission Support Group, Colonel Brad Leffert.
I don't know who to thank more. It's either the chaplain or the weatherman that held off the storms and brought us this cooler temps this morning, or, well, afternoon now. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow commanders, friends, and most importantly, my 42nd family, thank you all for being here today. It is both an honor and a bittersweet moment that I stand before you to relinquish my command. Reflecting on my time in this position, I am filled with gratitude for the incredible team I've had the privilege to lead. Together we faced challenges and delivered successes, and I'm immensely proud of all we've accomplished. Your dedication, professionalism, resilience have been the backbone of our mission, and I'm deeply appreciative of each of you and your commitment to this great nation. The list of people I need to thank is tremendously long, especially as I look out across this crowd, and I see so many faces that I have just a mountain of memories, funny stories, maybe some jabs that I can remember back for the rest of my days. So for starters, I deeply appreciate the team that brought this event together and brought it to the finish line. Lieutenant Long, Tech Sergeant Jimerson, Chaplain Thompson, which I think y'all need to change his call sign to FedEx because he always delivers. Miss Webb, thank you for that rendition. Good luck at ACSC, very proud of you. Tech Sergeant Mathis, thank you, ma'am. All the volunteers, certainly my men and women that are standing here before us, thank you all. I want to express my deepest appreciation for Colonel Richardson and General Pellis for both their trust and their guidance over these past couple of years. Sir, you have been the righteous force to unleash this formation. Everyone in the 42nd has benefited from your leadership, your steadfast support, and your energy. I know I have, and this has been, without a doubt, the most enjoyable and rewarding tour of my entire career. From everyone at the 42nd, thank you for being you. One of the greatest blessings this assignment bestowed upon me was a lineup of rockstar commanders. I'll be forever grateful to them for their leadership, drive, and determination to bring my vision of the formation to life. Time and again, I gave each of them big, hairy, complex goals and was joyfully pleased that I could just stand back and watch every one of them deliver success after success after success. No commander can be fully successful without a staff of driven patriots that keep the mission flowing while the commander stays focused on leading that formation, and I'm no different. The MSG front office has been blessed with a strong cast of characters over the past couple of years. Captain Daniels and soon-to-be Captain Birnbaum have been my devoted execs. Lindsay Smith, Michelle Eckert, Tremisa Baker have all been the protectors of my time. Troy Hendricks and the PMF team have been the protectors of our daily mission accomplishment. Aaron Mensa has been the protector of my money. Master Sergeants Tequila Sith and Michael Williams have been the protectors of my airmen. Chris Pruitt, Colonel Ken Roberts, and Shane Downham have all been my trusted advisors, sounding board, and my mission drivers. But there is one that has been with me since before I took command, Chief Janae Wesley. She's an amazing leader, airman, wingman, mother, and patriot. All roles that she excels in and applies in her daily efforts to make all of us better each day. She cares deeply for the mission and our airmen alike, and I am forever grateful, eternally grateful, for have had the opportunity to serve with you. There are two amazing patriots in the crowd with us today who are the reason I'm standing on this stage. My parents, Larry and Suzanne Ledford. They have been both the foundation and my guiding light my entire life. Thank you for all the opportunities you've opened up for me and my family. Josh, Andy, thank you for your patience, your resilience, and your love as I live out my dreams. I'm incredibly proud of the men you're becoming, and I can't wait to see you live out your dreams. To my wife, Crystal, your love and support, baby, have been my absolute safe harbor. Thank you for being my partner in this journey and always standing by my side. I truly could not have done it without you. As I pass the baton today, I have full confidence in Colonel Furman. His leadership, vision, and commitment to excellence will undoubtedly propel this organization to new heights. I'm excited to see how all of you flourish under his leadership, but there is one last bit of turnover business we need to take care of, though. So Colin thought I might run off with it. So they put the... Thank you. Sir? Hey, Tom, I didn't try to repeat, so you were my witnesses, all right? So, thank you. Lastly, to the men and women of this command, I expect you to continue to uphold the highest standards. Take care of each other. You are truly the heart and soul of this organization. I leave each of you with one last piece of advice. It's called the Creed of the Engineer. Some of you that have been working with me closely may find some resemblances in how I've acted over the past couple of years. If anything can go wrong, fix it. To hell with Murphy and his law. When given a choice, take both. Multiple projects lead to multiple successes. Start at the top and then work up. Do it by the book, but be the author. When you're forced to compromise, ask for more. If you can't beat them, join them. Then beat them. If it's worth doing, it's got to be done right now. If you can't win, change the rules. If you can't change the rules, then ignore them. Perfection is not optional. When faced without a challenge, make one. No simply means to begin again one level higher. Don't walk when you can run. Bureaucracy is a challenge to be conquered with a righteous attitude, a tolerance for stupidity, and a bulldozer when necessary. When in doubt, think. Patience is a virtue, but persistence to the point of success is a blessing. The squeaky wheel gets replaced. And lastly, the faster you move, the slower time passes, the longer you live. Thank you all once again for giving me the honor of serving as your commander. I'm forever grateful for the experiences and memories we've shared. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's move out. Cool?
Thank you, Colonel Ledford. At this time, Colonel Ledford will receive his final salute as the commander of the 42nd Mission Support Group. At this time, Colonel Richardson and Colonel Furman, please join Colonel Ledford for the change of command ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Headquarters, Air University, Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. Colonel Brad Lefford will relinquish command of the 42nd Mission Support Group to Colonel Robert Furman, effective 19 July 2024, signed Colonel Ryan Richardson. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the commander of the 42nd Mission Support Group, Colonel Robert Furman.
Wow. It's a real big challenge in life when you're doing a public speech to follow two speakers like that. That was really incredible. Gentlemen, thank you for your remarks. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for the leadership. And thank you for the welcome. We are very, very excited to be here. As Colonel Richardson mentioned, we're coming from Germany. And as in Germany, we had a very short time to be together. And it's even shorter now. But I'm just grateful to have the chance. And I will tell you, anywhere you go, I'll follow you again. So thank you also so much for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate the trust and the friendship. In keeping with the theme of thank yous, just have a whole lot of thank yous, and I won't go through the whole list. In the interest of the sharp professional formation we have in the middle in the hot weather, which is better today than yesterday, I'll keep it really short. But I want to start by thanking my beautiful wife. As anybody knows, and especially Lisa and Ryan, getting to Maxwell from Ramstein is not easy. And getting out of Germany by itself is not easy. And Giuliani, you made it look easy. Thank you. I want to thank all of my family, my mom and dad, my sister, especially for being here. And I point you out in particular because I'm a 4-time graduate of Air University. My first time was officer training school, and my mom, my dad, and my sister came to the graduation right here at Maxwell a couple years ago. And if I could get Tyler to stand up, Tyler Furman. On the way down here, Tyler was born in Nashville. He was 6 weeks old, and now Tyler's flying for Delta Airlines. So I measure my career based on how tall he gets. And I'm really grateful for you all to be here. Especially want to thank also Aiden and Evan for making the journey. So proud of you guys. Senior Airman Furman's at Fayetteville right now, and Evan's a junior, almost at the University of South Dakota. And that reminds me also that in this time in America where it seems like a lot of people don't get along, the fact that a coyote and a jackrabbit can be such good friends should be an example to everybody. So, noted. We're leading from the front here. This is a big deal in South Dakota, trust me. To all of our other family and friends that have come from so far, from New Mexico, from Georgia, from North Carolina, from Tennessee, we're just so grateful to have everybody here. This is the group that we've known, and again, being in Maxwell, being in Montgomery for four different occasions, OTS, Air and Space Basic Course, back when it was brand new, Squadron Officer School, and then Air War College most recently. We're very familiar with Montgomery, very familiar with Maxwell, and one of the things that strikes me as we get started is that I've seen this area over the past 20 plus years develop and change and grow, and coming back 5 years after we left, I can see the energy that these two gentlemen and this entire organization have poured into Maxwell, and I'm super excited to take that momentum and keep it going. Very proud of the team, proud of your leadership, proud of what you all have done, proud of our civic partners, so glad to see so many of them here, and very excited to support the Air University enterprise. You know, having been just a Colonel Richardson mentioned, on the eastern flank very recently. I went to Japan out of Air War College, looked at the Chinese up close and personal, went from there to Germany, looked at the Russians up close and personal, worked in Africa quite a bit, looked at the Russians and the Chinese up close and personal. And what I've discovered coming back to Maxwell as I reflect on it, the training and the development that we get here, that the leaders, senior NCOs, officers, civilians, interagency partners, international partners that we get coming out of Maxwell Air Force Base prepare the United States and give the United States the advantage in that competition. So this mission support group, the mission we're supporting is nothing less than American power. And I'm just super proud to be part of the MSG. Very grateful for the warm welcome, grateful for your leadership, grateful for the trust and opportunity. And I really encourage everybody to come join us at the club where it's a little bit cooler and we have some food and drinks. So thank you all very much for being here.
At this time, Colonel Furman will receive his first salute as the commander of the 42nd Mission Support Group. In keeping with Air Force tradition, please rise for the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our change of command ceremony. We thank you for joining us today. Please join us at the Maxwell Club for a reception welcoming Colonel Furman and his family.